Councilman Lee Keener from District 5 to do the prayer for us today.
Bow our heads. Iskanak Lana. Father, we thank you today to be here together in council. I pray for the council members that are here as we make these decisions. I thank you for the heavy weight that each council person has taken on to represent the Cherokee people and their willingness to do so. Lord, I pray for Janelle and David as they're absent from us today with illness. I pray for a speedy recovery for them and I pray for your healing hand to be upon them. Father, there's so many needs we need to meet, and I just pray that through you we can meet those needs of the people. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen.
Amen.
Widow. Ms. Shelley Britton, would you please do the roll call?
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Julia Coates.
Here.
Jody Fishing Hawk.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright. Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin Jr.
Here.
Dinah Glory Jordan.
Present.
Lee Keener.
Honey.
Dick Lay.
Here.
Curtis Snell.
Here.
David Thornton. David Walkingstick.
Here.
Kara Cowan Watts.
Honey.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. At this time, just a friendly reminder to please silence your phone, and if you have it on a heavy object, even a vibration apparently will make a significant amount of noise. Thank you. And do please keep Councilman Thornton and Fulbright in your prayers as they are home ill. And at this time, before we consider the approval of the minutes for the July 11th, 2011 regular session and the July 12th, 2011 special session, I do want to note that we had 2 August meetings. I believe it was 2 for special council sessions, and those meeting minutes will be considered at next month's council meeting and have not been prepared yet. So do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion that be approved, both the July 11th and 12th.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Bakers. Is there any amendments or additions to the council meeting minutes as presented? Seeing none, hearing none, call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. And both sets of council meetings pass as written. Thank you. At this time, we would like to welcome our new seated interim or acting principal chief, Joe Crittenden, for the State of the Nation.
Chuck. Pretty good. Congratulations.
While he continues around, I would be remiss not to admonish you to be brief, as Madam Speaker Fraley, as acting deputy chief, would say.
It's my pleasure to come before you to present the State of the Nation, August the 22nd, 2011. As continuing with what we normally do, I'd like to begin by recognizing our Cherokee friends and family members who have passed on in the past month. Several people to hold in remembrance tonight. First off is Pauline Smith, the mother of former Principal Chief Chad Smith. Diana Mouse, I've been told this is Buting, former Cherokee Nation employee. Jason Littlecock, former Cherokee Nation employee. Ella Mae Redbird from Kenwood. Kay Lane. Adeline Buzzard, a WIC WIC specialist at the Sam Hyder Health Center at Jay. Is there anyone else? No? Jody? Bob Gonzalez.
Councilman England.
Yes, Chris Juby, Barry, Scott Davis.
Councilwoman Coates?
Ronald James in Eugene, Oregon is a member of our Willamette Talladega community there, and also Fred McClellan in Middletown, California, a member of our Cherokees of the Northern Central Valley group.
Councilman Garvin?
Dale Scott, originally from Aikens, but now Muskogee.
Councilman Baker?
Yes, I've got two today. We have Key Gord, a Cherokee from right here in Tahlequah. And then we have the Honorable Judge Jim Goodpasture from Mays County that had a sudden heart attack and passed.
If that's all, please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now we're going on to our veterans. Tonight we honor 4 Cherokee veterans for their service to our country and our nation. The first is Joe Grayson, Jr. See you again, my friend. We all know Joe, but I'm going to read a little bit about him. Deputy Chief Joe Grayson, Jr. joined the military in 1968, and he was sent to basic training and AIT at Fort Polk, Louisiana. After 5 months in the Army, Joe was sent to Vietnam, where he served in the U.S. Army's 4th Infantry Division. He is a decorated Vietnam veteran, receiving 4 Bronze Stars. During his tenure as Deputy Principal Chief, Joe worked to recognize our servicemen. He was instrumental in the implementation of the Cherokee Nation Medal of Patriotism, building of the Warriors Memorial, and advocating for the Veterans Center. Joe and his wife, Gwendolyn, live in Tahlequah and have 5 children. And Madam Deputy Chief, will you help me with this? It's supposed to be in
That's the
order.
right one. Make sure it wants to pin it.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
You want it?
Okay. You like it?
It's Grayson that presented Medal of Patriotism and Memorial Award and appreciated the military service. And would like to sure pin that pin on.
Yes, I would, maybe. I pinned it on him. I'm gonna let him pin it on me.
As you used to say, it's not a given, you earned it. Your country is indebted to you.
Thank you, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
There you go. Would you like to say a few words to him?
Well, you know, I created this medal. And I did not do it for my own recognition. But I am humbled to receive this award. And I will take it on behalf of my grandfather and my father, who were served in the military. One served in World War I, and my father served in World War II. He was a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne and jumped into Normandy on the early morning hours of D-Day. But I want to thank the Cherokee Nation for this. And I never really intended to receive one of these. So it is an honor and a privilege. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you. Next, we have John Elmo Butler. I'm going to read just a little about John. He was born in Delaware County in the Butler community. At the age of 21, John was drafted into the Army, where he served 3 years, including a year in Vietnam. He is a graduate of Grove High School, Tonkawa Junior College, and Northeastern State University. John and his wife live near Grove. And if you will now, you want to do the honors?
You can put this forward to the Cherokee Nation State Commander of Patriotism and the Memorial Award of Appreciation to the Military Service. You're welcome.
Would you like to say a few words to it? I'd like to thank the Cherokee Nation for giving me this honor, and I thank you for being able to serve you and make this country a better country. Thank you.
Next, we have a gentleman named Michael Ryder. Michael with us tonight? Welcome.
Made that
Oh, you did? You made it up? I hardly think so. Michael Ryder joined the Army in '73, where he served 21 years. His time in the military took him to places such as Fort Greely in Alaska, Alabama, Germany, Fort Hood in Texas, and Kentucky. Michael retired in 1994 and returned home to Oklahoma, where he earned his bachelor's degree in psychology at Northeastern State University. He and his wife, Patty, live north of Tahlequah, and they have 3 children. All right. Pardon me? No.
It just slides on this one.
Huh?
It just slides on it, so it goes on this one.
Thank you. Would you care to say something to the folks here? You don't want to? Well, I want to thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Next, we have Rick Baldridge. Welcome. Thank you, sir. Rick Baldridge was born in the old Hastings Hospital. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
And spent most of his early years near Lost City. I know where that is.
Yes, sir.
He attended the University of Oklahoma on a football scholarship and earned a bachelor's degree in business. Upon graduation from OU, Rick was named a distinguished military graduate of the Army ROTC program and accepted a commission as second lieutenant. His first assignment was in Stuttgart, Germany, where he served as a personnel officer. He worked with the Munich Olympics in 1972, participating in the last European Command Track and Field Championship. After returning home from the military, Rick earned a master's degree in human relations. He currently serves as the Employee Service Manager for Cherokee Nation Industries. All right.
Thank you, ma'am. My pleasure. Tell people that we're not viewing this to be an emergency, sir. Well, there is. Something from that. Okay. All right. Meredith, you getting good? Did I get you? No, you're good. Okay.
Did you see chest deflate?
Pardon?
Did you see
You think that was
chest
air?
deflate?
That wasn't there. Would you care to say a few words to our folks?
I'm deeply honored and deeply grateful for this honor tonight, but I would like us to remember those that didn't come back. So many of our friends, family, loved ones.
Yes.
And I would also like to remember all of our family, friends, and loved ones that are over there today. Let us continue to honor them. And you've honored me, and I thank you.
Thank you, Meredith. Program services update. Recently, the community of Oaks was faced with a water shortage after their wells went dry. Cherokee Nation and the community of Oaks partnered to find a solution and bring a community a consistent water supply. By partnering with Oaks Water Works, Flint Ridge Fire Department, and Delaware County Rural Water District 11, and the Cherokee Nation, with the help of community volunteers, were able to restore a consistent water supply to the town, to the school, and the mission in about 10 days. Although there is no more work to be done, or there is more work to be done, this first step in getting Oaks water was handled quickly. We will be working with the community to continue finding permanent solutions to the water problems they are facing. Community services staff, under the direction of group leader Charlie Soap, helped the community find solutions and work to get them implemented quickly. Now, there will be an election for the office of Principal Chief on Saturday, September the 24th. We most all are aware of that, but some people are not, I suppose. I encourage all Cherokee citizens who are registered to vote to cast a ballot for their candidate of choice. It is one of our most fundamental rights as Cherokee citizens. Registered voters can participate in early voting at the Cherokee Nation Election Commission office on September 17, 2021, and 22 between 9 and 5 p.m., 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. The Election Commission will mail ballots to absentee voters on August the 29th and 30th. If a voter requested an absentee ballot and has not received it by September 9, they should call the Election Commission. Voting precincts are still being finalized, but I understand the commission will announce those on August the 29th. Also, this last month, Cherokee Elder Care celebrated 2 milestones. Elder Care celebrated its 3rd year in operation, serving as the only Native-sponsored facility of its kind in the United States. At the same time, inspectors from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services gave the facility high marks after a recent review. Congratulations to the health service team for their hard work and success. Next item is events, general announcements. We're currently finalizing preparations for one of the biggest events of the year. The 59th Cherokee National Holiday is September the 2nd through the 4th in Tahlequah. Families can come to enjoy the State of the Nation, traditional games, traditional foods, and many other events. I urge everyone to check out the scheduled events by visiting holiday.cherokee.org. School is back in session at Sequoia, and they will host their first football scrimmage against Roland on Friday, August the 26th at 5 p.m. We would like to welcome the 500 Sequoia School students who range from immersion school through the 12th grade. That's all I have there, except for fresh off the press about 5 o'clock this afternoon. We got a decision from our Supreme Court, and it's the Cherokee Nation Registrar in the Nash case. And all of us, I think, council and myself and staff members have got copies. And I'm going to defer to our Attorney General for some comments concerning this. And I know there's lots of questions in a lot of people's minds, and maybe she can help some of us understand it a little better. Madam Attorney General, please come up. Thank you.
Good evening. I think I know all of you. I'm Diane Hammonds. I'm the Attorney General. We received this shortly after 5 o'clock this afternoon. Basically, it reverses the decision of the District Court of Judge Cripps, issued an opinion, and it remands it with instructions to dismiss. What that means is that the court has ruled that the Cherokee people properly could exercise their right to amend the Constitution, and they did so in March of 2007. The court basically held that because the people properly exercised their right to amend their own Constitution, that the court could not interfere with that right. You all have copies of it, but just a couple of, I think, quotes from it that summarize it. On page 8 of the majority opinion, the court distinguishes that the Treaty of 1866 did not grant citizenship in the Cherokee Nation. I think we all understand that. What the Treaty of 1866 granted to freedmen and their descendants was the rights of Native Cherokees. Well, all of us as Native Cherokees could have our citizenship affected at any time by a constitutional amendment, and we argued that in the case. For example, I'm a quarter. If the people decided that the Constitution was going to be amended to require half-blood quantum, I could be disenrolled. So we argued in the case that any Native Cherokee could be disenrolled by, for example, a blood quantum requirement. The court found that that Treaty of 1866 only granted to freedmen the rights of Native Cherokees, but that it was the Constitution of the Cherokee people that actually granted them citizenship. And they say, the freedmen at that time gained citizenship status in the Cherokee Nation by the Cherokee people's sovereign expression in the 1866 constitutional amendment to the 1839 Cherokee Nation Constitution. It stands to reason that if the Cherokee people had the right to define the Cherokee Nation citizenship in the above-mentioned 1866 constitutional amendment, they would have the sovereign right to change the definition of Cherokee Nation citizenship in their sovereign expression in the March 3, 2007 constitutional amendment. The court, there were two specially concurring opinions. The decision is a 4-to-1 decision. With one dissent. The dissent, if there's a written dissent, it has not been published or had not by the time we came in here this evening. But one of the written concurrences makes note of the Allen decision and says that the court virtually invited the Cherokee people to vote on this issue. Now that the people have exercised that right, the court cannot now in good faith tell the people that they could not do so. I have not had an opportunity, obviously, to study it in depth. I've read it through a couple of times. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you may have.
At this time, if there's any council members that have questions for our Attorney General Hammonds. Seeing none, we appreciate your time and thank you.
Thank you.
For the summary.
Madam Speaker, that's all I have. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we're on to action of unfinished business. There is none pending. We will move on to committee reports. For our monthly report first, I would invite David Sutherland, Group Leader for the Housing Authority.
Good evening. Good to be here this evening. I've got a brief report. You don't have to warn me. Housing Authority Board meeting for August was held last Tuesday, the 16th. Our next meeting will be September the 20th. As usual, the meeting will be at noon in the Allen Hogner Conference Room. All my departments have been busy keeping up with air conditioning and the calls we've been getting. I've got 2 heat and air guys. I don't want to talk how good a job they're doing, because usually when you talk good about an employee, you lose them. Somebody offers them something else. But they've been doing a real good job. They take care of our managed units, the houses and apartments that we own. They've been staying busy. They occasionally go out for rehab on the privately owned homes. But this past winter or summer, rehab's been using Cherokee contractors. Our heat and air guy, we lost him a few months ago. We haven't been able to replace him. So one of the things we've been dealing with is waiting list for contractors. So we're doing it good as we can. We're pretty much caught up now, so we're in pretty good shape. But again, if the summer's not over, so if you guys have calls or something from someone whose air conditioning is not working, be sure and tell them to, if you got my number, have them call me. But we want to make sure that we get some attention to them immediately. We continue to make improvements on our low-rent apartments. We got several heat and air units that we're replacing at Locust Grove, update those, as well as Birdtail here in Tahlequah. We're also replacing some cabinets at Leon Daniel Heights, which is always a good thing. You'll hear good things from the tenants once you replace their cabinets. That seems to be a big key, so we're doing that. And for you new council folks, I'll give you some contact information for me at tomorrow's committee meeting. So if you ever have any questions, just, if you need a call, don't hesitate to do that. That's my report. If anyone has any questions.
Seeing none, thank you for your report. If David Stewart, Cherokee Nation Businesses CEO, would come forward, please, for your monthly report. Thank you, David.
All right, good evening. You have our report for May, a fairly detailed analysis of our financial results. All of the companies are doing well. We're fairly consistent with our results for last year, and year to date, we're on target. We still have to settle our insurance claim in Catoosa for the damage that was done to the casino, so those numbers are not reflected in the financial results, so they're going to be slightly higher depending upon how that settles. We have two contracts that I would like to, we've already announced, obviously, that you know about. One is the contract with the Department of Defense. It's about $40 million over a couple of years. And I have Russell Claybrook. Russell is a Cherokee, that's the CEO of that division that was very involved in acquiring that contract. So, Russell, you want to come up and say a word? And if you have any questions about the contract, he can answer those.
Good evening. We got the chance to see some Cherokee warriors before we came up here that was here. And I think we all have family members, friends that are Cherokee citizens. And we have the honor of supporting those guys in the fight of war. This contract is just that. It's actually taking equipment, it's sustaining equipment, and it's keeping that equipment operating for the Department of Defense and foreign military sales. And in doing this, we're able to create jobs. We're going to pull people here, set up the ability to start doing circuit boards, being able to have mechanics that can keep this equipment operating. It's a great opportunity for us. It's a very visible opportunity within the Department of Defense, and I think gives us the ability to expand our capacity in the future. So great to be a part of it. There's a lot of other people that are doing the work that should be recognized. I get to represent them. I think you would see a lot of great people, and at some point, I think it would be good for you guys to see some of the details of what we're doing. I think coming and seeing that would be good. Any questions?
Madam Speaker, I think we need to give him a big hand. Good job.
There's a lot of people that you should give hands to. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a very interesting contract because it is a vehicle for several different government agencies to contract with C&I. So there's a lot of faith in C&I. Our reputation speaks for itself, and I think it's going to be a sign of additional opportunities with the Department of Defense. The second contract is with Walmart. This contract has been in the works for almost a year. They came to visit the C&I plant. They wanted to do business with us because they're in northwest Arkansas and we're in northeast Oklahoma, and those kind of meet somewhere in between. And so they came in and looked at our corporate structure and really felt like we were going to be a good business partner. So we're going to kick that off. The first phase will be at the building in Pryor that we just getting ready to acquire. And so I estimate that we will do additional work for Walmart as time goes on, and that will allow us to get into the 14 counties and put work at various towns. So I'm looking forward to that. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
Yes, Councilman Snell.
David, would you tell us why the work was stopped over at the Fort Gibson casino job?
Yes, the land that we acquired just that is adjacent to our property has trees on it. And these trees are mature and they're healthy. And to move those, I think there's some legislation or rules that won't allow us to kill those trees because it's not the right time to move them. So we're going to do some additional research and discussion with the Environmental Division of the Cherokee Nation to figure out what our alternatives are. But right now, we can't move those trees. So we'll figure that out.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Councilman Snell. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. I see no other questions.
Thank you
for your time this evening. Now we move on to old business. Amendment?
Madam Speaker,
Yes.
there were three
Councilman
items
Baker.
that were passed in committee this afternoon and asked to be considered in full council tonight. From Education and Culture Committee was a resolution authorizing the submission of a special grant application to Administration on Children, Youth, and Families, the Affordable Care Act Tribal Personal Responsibility Education Program for teen pregnancy prevention. From the Resource Committee, there was a resolution authorizing the placement of land in trust, which is the old homeland property here in Tahlequah. And also from the Resource Committee was a resolution authorizing the leasing of tribal trust land to housing applicant. And I make a motion that we amend the agenda to include these three items.
That would be 8, 9, and 10. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Did you get that, Madam Secretary? Thank you. All minds clear, amending the agenda for items 8, 9, and 10, and that should be in front of you. Call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We have amended the agenda. Thank you, Councilman Baker. So there is no old business. We'll move on to new business and item 1. We have a grant application for the USDA for food distribution, and Councilwoman Glory Jordan.
This is a resolution authorizing the submission of an application for funding to the USDA for FY 2012 food distribution program. And I would make that motion to pass that resolution.
I would second.
And the second was by Councilman Baker from Tahlequah. Are there any questions? Seeing none, hearing none, call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. On item 2, we have an application to Health and Human Services for LIHEAP. Councilwoman Glory Jordan.
Yes, this is a resolution authorizing the submission of an application to the United States Department of Health and Human Services for FY 2012 funding for our LIHEAP program. And with that, I would make a motion to pass.
I would second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. And the resolution passes. Thank you. Now coming from Rules Committee, item number 3, we have a resolution confirming the renomination of Jim Hummingbird as Commissioner of the Cherokee Nation Tax Commission and Councilman Anglin.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to move to confirm Jim Hummingbird to the Cherokee Nation Tax Commission.
Second motion.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second, and I do not see Mr. Hummingbird. So, okay, that's what, just make sure. Is there any questions concerning Jim Hummingbird? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. And Ms. Swepston, please tell him thank you for his service, and we appreciate him. Moving on to item number 4 from Rules Committee. We have a resolution confirming the nomination of John Gritz as a board member of the Cherokee Nation Foundation. I know we have Kimberly Gilliland from the foundation here, and he is not present. Councilman Anglin?
Yes, thank you again, Madam Speaker. I would like to move that John Gritz be appointed to as a member of the Cherokee Nation Foundation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions from the council? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. On concerning items 5 and 6, item 5 is a resolution confirming the appointment of Sharon Wright as Marshal of the Cherokee Nation, and item 6 is a resolution confirming the appointment of Diane Hammonds as Attorney General of the Cherokee Nation. At the request of Acting Principal Chief Joe Crittenden, I received a letter, I believe on August 18, 2011, asking to withdraw these nominations. When I went back to the Constitution of the Cherokee Nation, both of those are nominations as per the Constitution in the power of the Principal Chief's office. So those were appointed under Principal Chief Chad Smith. Acting Deputy Chief Joe Crittenden has requested to withdraw those. Just for the record, that is your power of your branch of government. There's Councilwoman Meredith Fraley, who's now Acting Deputy Principal Chief, was the sponsor, and which made the Acting Rules Chair, Buell Anglin, the sponsor for both those. We will withdraw that and honor that request. That is appropriate. There's not a breach between the two branches of government. I would like to clarify for the record that those two individuals, Attorney General Diane Hammonds and Marshal Sharon Wright, will both continue in their roles per the Constitution and the rulings of the court on other until the time that a nomination and confirmation would take place. That doesn't mean that it can't be them. Those two individuals as Cherokee Nation citizens would still be eligible for those positions, and we appreciate their service. Are all minds clear? And we thank you. So moving on, we have item 7, which is a resolution confirming the nomination of Susan Plum as Cherokee Nation Election Board Commissioner, and Councilman Anglin is the sponsor. Ms. Plum is here. If you would like to come forward to the podium. Councilman Anglin?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. At this time, I would like to move for the nomination of Susan Plum as Cherokee Nation Election Board Commissioner.
Second.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Ms. Plum? I have questions for Ms. Plum, and that's why I asked her to move forward, and I talked with her prior to this meeting. There was some information that was brought to my attention between committee and here, and we just wanted to clarify for the record and give her the opportunity to speak to this, because everything is public record. Tribal citizens had brought it to my attention. So my first question is, have you donated to either candidate for chief?
I donated to both candidates, yes.
Thank you.
I'm a big believer in the democratic process, and I thought both men deserved equal footing.
Thank you. Were those donations made before or after you were approached concerning the Election Commission nomination?
Prior to my having any knowledge of being considered for the commission.
Thank you. That helps clarify for me. And then one last question. Do you have any real or perceived conflict of interest at work or in your family which might unduly influence your decisions on the Election Commission?
No, I do not.
Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Did anyone else have any questions for Ms. Plum?
I would welcome any questions. I'll just tell you from a philosophical standpoint, my goal, if I'm confirmed, is to make sure that the commission operates in a completely transparent way. Some of you know me. I would hope that you know that I will do the right thing no matter what. And some of you don't know me, and I can guarantee that you'll know that if I am confirmed. So, as far as my father goes, and that's, I think, what you're referring to, you know, I tell him what to do sometimes. Sometimes he tells me what to do. Works out pretty well. So, but we did agree after I was nominated not to discuss the political end of, not to discuss any political business. So.
And I appreciate your candor. What I shared with her earlier when I spoke with her was our parents inherit us and we inherit our parents. The only question I had was him as a direct report or boss at work, so to speak. And I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything at work that might be considered. You can't help your parents and they can't help you all the time. So.
We help each other,
That's
but
right.
he raised me to be a very independent thinker. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate your willingness, because for the public, this would be the 5th election commissioner to complete through to the September 24th election. And she has been kind enough and through what for me has been a frustrating process of trying to get her to the point where we could appoint her as the 5th and complete the election commission. If all minds are clear, all those in favor of Ms. Susan Plum for the election commission, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Very good, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And please stick around because at the end, okay? If the body doesn't mind, if Justice Poteet is with us today, and we will go ahead and swear you in.
Okay. I brought my own witnesses.
Okay, very good. Did you want your family to come down too?
Yeah.
Hold your right hand up, is that right? I, Susan Plum, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Susan Plum, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties of election commissioner of the Cherokee Nation
that I will faithfully execute the duties of election commissioner of the Cherokee Nation
and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend
and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend
the constitutions of the Cherokee Nation and the United States of America.
the constitutions of the Cherokee Nation and the United States of America.
I swear or affirm further that I will do everything within my power
I swear or affirm further that I will do everything within my power
to promote the culture, heritage, and traditions of the Cherokee Nation.
to promote the culture, heritage, and traditions of the Cherokee Nation.
And thank you again, Ms. Plum, and your family. Moving on, we have item number 8 from Education and Culture Committee, and this is a grant application for teen pregnancy prevention. Ms. Tina Glory Jordan.
I think I'm going to defer to my counterpart, Mr. Baker. I did it in committee, and I think he's
Very good. Councilman Baker.
Yes, and I was going to defer to David Walkingstick, our newest member from District 1, but I'll let him get his sea legs first. If we could, I'd like to put it in the form of a motion to approve this resolution for land in trust, and it is the old Homeland shopping, or...
Nope, we're on teen pregnancy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
$800,000.
Okay. Yes, resolution for the submission of the special grant application to administration on children, youth, families, and Affordable Care Act for the Tribal Personal Responsibility Education Program for Teen Pregnancy Prevention, and I'd put it in the form of a motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? And again, this came today from Education Committee, and needed to be signed for tomorrow for it, meet a deadline. Seeing none, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Now we move on to item number 9 from Resource Committee, and it's a resolution authorizing the placement of land in trust for the homeland here in Tahlequah.
And I will defer to David Walkingstick.
This is a resolution authorizing the placement of land in trust in Homeland, and I'd like to be added as a sponsor to this.
I think everyone concurs.
I'll make that motion.
Well, I think it's been accepted as a friendly amendment. I saw heads shaking for the motions and the seconds. So you have that for the record, Madam Secretary? Thank you. Okay, are all minds clear?
You did make a motion.
Well, I thought there were seconds
No.
from, okay.
I went ahead and
She made the motion, and he said.
Seconded, okay. So there's a motion and a second. And all those seeing no questions, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you. You guys are awfully quiet. So, okay, resolution, we're on our last item. Resolution number 10, authorizing the leasing of tribal trust land to a housing applicant. Because the good council people from District 3 are missing, who are listed as sponsors, Councilman Thornton and Councilwoman Fulbright, we would ask Councilman Garvin to carry the legislation.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to be added as a sponsor. And this is land in Quarry County, and it's in Section 4, Township 12 North, Range 26 East, and it's strictly a leasing situation to get rehab on the property. And I make a motion that be approved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? Seeing none, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes unanimously. Thank you. We have some paperwork to deal with. Now we're on to announcements. Do you have my oath? Okay. Justice Poteet, would you do me the honor, please, so that I can fulfill acting speaker duties officially?
I'll do that. Come forward and swear to you.
Is it okay?
I'll come around.
Do I need these somewhere via Bible? This is Susan. Yes. Yes, please. Since you put me in this position. I think acting is what we've been using.
I, Kara Callan Watts, do solemnly swear or affirm
I, Kara Callan Watts, do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of acting Speaker of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council
of acting Speaker of the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council
and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend
and to the best of my ability will preserve, protect, and defend
the constitutions of the Cherokee Nation and the United States of America.
the constitutions of the Cherokee Nation and the United States of America.
I swear or affirm further that I will do everything within my power
I swear or affirm further that I will do everything within my power
to promote the culture, heritage, and traditions of the Cherokee Nation.
to promote the culture, heritage, and traditions of the Cherokee Nation. Thank you. So at this time, are there any announcements by the council? Seeing no further announcements, I would just, if you are interested in the Nash case and the rendering of the Supreme Court decision, you can find that online at CherokeeCourts.org, the full opinion. And do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I hear, Councilman Keener got a second in. We are adjourned.